What's good, YouTube? It's Ben here. Today I'm bringing you a custom tactic video. It's going to be the 5-3-2 custom tactic, and I know a lot of people have seen me preach on Twitter when I'm streaming, whatever. I despise 5-3-2, but I feel like I do need to show you guys this tactic because it's definitely going to be able to help you get some more wins in your weekend league games if you're going to be using this tactic. And I'll give you some reasoning why to use it, when to use it, and kind of how to use it, as well as giving you the custom tactics and instructions what I deem to be the best for it. But before we get into that, if you are new around here, hit the subscription button, hit the notification bell. Going to be trying to get some more consistent uploads now. The season for me is complete and Team of Seasons here, so there's a lot more content for me to make for you guys. And obviously don't forget to leave a like and leave a comment. Let me know as a comment actually what formation would you like me to use next, or try next, and tell you what's the best tactics and that is for it. I think I've done quite a few of them so far, so maybe I think like the next one's probably going to be like a 4-2-2, but if you guys want me to revamp some other ones and whatnot, I can also do that. But yeah, let's get into this OP tactic, man. It's ridiculous how good this is. I'll give you a bit of a backstory about the formation. I think it's quite useful to actually know why it sort of exploded and why it got so good and so on. So in the competitive scene, there's a guy called Dull Mike. He was easily, in my opinion, probably the best player on Xbox at the time anyway. He probably could have used any formation and he'd been alright. But this guy decided to use the 5-3-2 because obviously it gives you some benefits, which I'll talk about when we get there. And he dominated the competition, if I'll be totally honest with you. He whacked, I think, Nissan in the final, and I think a lot of people saw that and was like, okay, this is the formation to use. And more weekend leagues go on, more pros are using it, more other people are using it, and obviously this is where, I don't know about you, but for me, when I play against Fightback, I'm getting angry, and it's kind of like a mindset thing, because actually beating Fightback isn't too hard, and I'll also explain that as well. But yeah, that is basically the origin of this tactic and where it's all come from. It's from Dull Mike, and as I said, there's been a few tweaks here and there where other pros have used it and tried different things, so I'll give you a couple variations what to use and so on. Let's get into the tactic. So defensive style is balanced, 5 width. You can use your 7 depth if you want the automatic offside trap. If you're not worried about the automatic offside trap and you just want the game to just do what you basically put input rather than doing some stuff for you, put it down to 5. That's a decent amount of depth for you. Like you've got enough to press on and not give them too much space. But as I said, if you want the offside trap, you know, the glitchy stuff, 7 or above is always useful in that sense. But for this tactic, I'm just going to say 10 depth. Offensive style is balanced, width 5, and players in the box 5. As I said, I'm basically just going to be copying what Dull Mike's used and what other few pros are used. But from what I've seen, 5-5 on both of these is just sort of the set mark. And as I said, if you wanting to do that 7 thing for the offside trap, go ahead. But you don't need to if you don't want to. But this is the tactic so far. Very simple, very basic. It's kind of like how I usually like to have my stuff as well. It's just very basic, very simple, easy to sort of understand. The best thing about having everything on like basically 5-5, I think, for me, I think it's just there's consistency with it. I think sometimes when you got like 6 width and you're not used to it, or 7 width or something like that, it's just a little different like styles of play, what you got to get used to, like player starting positions, where they run and so on. So that's something to consider. But I'm assuming some of you probably might not even use 5-3-2 before, and this might be the first time actually looking at for you. Before getting to instructions, I'm going to say this right now. I have seen a lot of people go away from the 5-back, even though it's a very good formation. A lot of pros have, and a lot of other competitive players and just casual players I've seen move away from the 5-back. I think this is because something you got to consider the 5-back. It can be very defensive at times in the sense of you do have that 3 centre-back sort of thing. What it's really good at is obviously stopping the counter-attack. So I don't know about you, but I've been playing a lot of narrows recently. And a lot of people do these through ball spams, and having the 3 centre-backs there is ridiculously good for countering that. So definitely recommend that. It's kind of weird though, because even though it does counter the through balls from the narrow and all the other formations, narrow is also a formation what works really well against this. If you want to know about my narrow stuff, and I did explain it in that video, that narrow does work really well against 5-back just because of the numbers you're bringing in. And I'll say before we get into instructions actually too, how to actually beat the 5-back if you're coming up against it. I'll be honest with you, unfortunately, you have to go a lot slower. Try and pull the guys out. I know he's got like 5 defending, it's super hard to actually make these chances, But a lot of the times, the people who are using Fightback are probably, like, when it comes to the casual stuff in, like, the weekend league, they're probably not the greatest of defenders, and they're actually using it to sort of hide how bad they're at defending. So if you can just play a lot slower, make them get frustrated, make them pull out players, you're going to make so many chances. But, as I said, you've got to be a lot more patient, you've got to go a lot slower. Once you've got the first goal, though, against a Fightback, trust me, it's game over. Like, these guys just run everyone else. So the first goal's super important to play against a Fightback, I will say that. But let's get into the instructions now. Save for the keeper, sorry. Come for crosses and sweeper keeper. This is obviously, once again, counting the through balls if they use the through balls and you haven't caught it with your defenders. Your goalkeeper is going to be quick on his toes, ready to get it. And come for crosses, obviously, we all know how overpowered the RBXs are when they are there. They seem to not be there as much anymore, which is a bit weird. But if they are there and you got come for crosses, Neuer's obviously going to be covering it up a lot better. The centre backs, obviously, you just keep on stay back while attacking. On your right wing back and your left wing back, you use join the attack. I see a lot, not a lot, some people use stay back while attacking. And in my opinion, it is not good. You're basically destroying what you actually get in the benefits of actually using a 5-back. For me, what's super important with the 5-back, the wing backs never get picked up by either the wingers from the opposite team or the full-backs by the opposite team. Yeah, I don't know what it is. It's some coding in the game that these wing backs are just always in the open. So when you have stay back while attacking, you are forcing so much down the middle and not actually having too much creation on the wing. During the attack, obviously sometimes they might go too far ahead. It's kind of like getting behind on like a right wing back and a left wing back, to be honest with you. So that's something to consider. You could use balance, but as I said, I think this formation and this tactics just work a lot better when you use join the attack on them. Just to make things a lot easier for yourself when it's going forward. As I said, it is better for defending, but if you can make it good in attacking, obviously you're going to want to do that as well. Then onto the left centre mid, you use stay back while attacking and cover centre. This is the tactic. What I'm going to show you, what I would do with my team, because of the players I've got, will be different to how I'm going to show you a couple variations. As I said, there's going to be a few different types I'm going to show you. But like the more defensive midfielder, I would say on the left side, stay back while attacking, cover centre, just so he's there at the back ready, you know, just to if there's any counters or whatnot. But because they're centre mids, they still come up quite a lot, so keep that in consideration. This is what I would say is the most important thing really when it comes to what Dylan Mike was using in his tactics. Bruno Fernandes was like unbelievable with the way he sort of played the game and the sort of system he came up with. It was get forward on the middle centre mid though and cover centre. The get forward obviously just basically pushes him up to like a cam / centre forward sometimes, and you know, just running on, giving him that extra option in the attack. It kind of sometimes converts into that 5-2-1-2, which is also a very good 5-back formation. It's actually the formation I use if I'm going to 5-back because of the team I got set up. But I think 5-3-2 is probably more known from you guys, so I thought I'd do a 5-3-2 tactic. But yeah, the middle centre mid on get forward and cover centre is essential for the Dylan Mike tactic. And something what I would do let's say I'm usually a 4-4-2 player or a 4-2-3-1, obviously I'm going to have that extra attacker. So what I'm going to want from that extra attacker is still them to go forward. But, you know, I don't want them to be the middle guy because I feel a lot of the play when I'm on the defensive end is going to go through him. And I don't want him to be getting like on them. His tackling is basically not going to be that good. So we put him out on the right, so he's just sort of out of the way, but he's fast enough to get a few things, you know. I think Stokes was using this, if you guys know him. He was just using the balance on the right centre mid. So he's still going forward a lot more. You get the benefits from the attacking, and you sort of not worrying too much what he's going to do on the defensive end. It's obviously on the other two, and obviously your 5 defenders, what you have as well. And then on the strikers, you could either use getting behind if you're a through ball merchant. That's no problem if you are a through ball merchant, or you just struggle to actually get your players in behind. You know, maybe you do want just to get in behind, or you could just leave it on balance, keep it basic, keep it simple. Is something what I actually recommend. I think it's quite good. You know, having that option to defeat, especially with this formation, I think you kind of do need the options to defeat a lot of the times. You don't want them to always be running it behind. So yeah, this is sort of like the Dylan Mike well, this is like the Stokes variation of it anyway. Which is basically Dylan Mike's stuff. If you've got like, if you're setting up a team and you're like, okay, I'm going to use 5-3-2 from the start all the way through. and I want to copy what Dynamite did. So what Dynamite did, obviously, you would have another your right centre mid would be like a centre mid, an actual centre mid who can do it all. You just put stay back while attacking on him, and then, as I said, it basically converts into this 5-2-1-2. Your right wing back and left wing back are flying up. Your right centre mid and left centre mid, they're still up high because they are centre mids. And then obviously your middle centre mid is moving into that cam / centre forward spot with your 2 strikers. So it kind of goes to like a 5-2-1-2. If you're trying to do, let's say how somebody like Nicholas, or I believe Matthias as well from the South America region has also used it like this. So what they do instead of using their midfield in a variation like I just showed you, they would actually use stay back while attacking on the middle guy, and sort of balance on the right centre mid and left centre mid. Maybe one get on forward if they want them to be more attacking. This obviously allows you just to sort of have just more numbers, I guess, in the attack with, I guess, without the get forward and stuff through the middle. Maybe you kind of prefer to play a little bit wider, and you kind of want your right centre mid and left centre mid to be more closer to your wingers. Yeah, that would make sense. Closer to your wing backs, to give them options rather than maybe one stay back, and it's a little bit harder to sort of build up on that side. And obviously having more runners is always good. So this is how sort of the South American guys, what I've seen, are using it as well. But yeah, that is it for the 5-3-2 tactics. As I said, I'm not a fan of this tactic personally. I don't really like using it, but I know a lot of people do like using it, so I thought I'd give you my opinions on it, how to use it, tactics wise and stuff like that. As I said, it kind of plays like a narrow / 5-2-1-2 3-5-2 type of vibe. So if you like them sort of formations, maybe try this out, and try the variations what I've sort of showed you guys to use. But yeah, don't forget to leave a like, comment and subscribe. A lot more uploads coming this week as well, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.
Never